Hello friends. This Sunday we're going to be talking about prosperity practices. And I wanted to share with you a story that Paula Ryan mentions in her book, Giving Thanks. We had the blessing to have Paula here at our church about 10 years ago as a guest speaker and a workshop leader, but she tells a story about a time when she was a young girl. And she would spend the summers at her great-grandmother's house, who lived on a farm in northern Indiana. And one of the things that she loved doing when she was spending time with her great-grandmother is that every morning they would go out and pick raspberries. And each morning she would pick 2 pints, at least 2 pints, and bring them in and wash them off and put 1 pint in the freezer to save it for later, and the other pint sprinkle some sugar on and have it that morning for breakfast. And this was just part of their spending time, quality time together. And then one summer it occurred to Paula, well, gee, you know what? I could probably save some time and just go out and pick 14 pints all at once, and then it would be done for the week. So she did that one week. She picked 14 pints and brought them all in and put them in the freezer. And then let a week go by, and then she went back out and she thought, oh, you know, there'll be lots of raspberries here, I'll pick another 14 pints. But what she found is that there was just barely 2 pints worth of raspberries available to be picked. And so she thought, what happened here? Where did they go? And it wasn't until many years later, as she studied prosperity principles and thought about it and reflected on that experience, that she realized that as long as she was embracing the abundant supply of the raspberries every day, you know, paying attention to it, giving thanks for it, going out and tending to it and harvesting, you know, the supply, then there was always more than enough to meet the demand of the day, and the abundance continued. But when she stopped that systematic practice of on a daily basis giving thanks and looking for the supply and harvesting it, that's when the flow kind of stopped, when it dried out. And she actually said in the book, she said, because I didn't show up to harvest the raspberries on a daily basis, because I wasn't giving thanks for the good that I was already receiving, the abundant flow of raspberries just seemed to pass me by. You know, probably some of them ripened and fell to the ground, some of them were eaten by birds, you know, some of them maybe just didn't develop because there wasn't space on the canes for the new ones to grow. And so she said, because I stopped giving thanks for the harvest of 2 pints every day, maybe God just figured that I was happy with the 14 pints from the last week and didn't need any more. Well, I feel like our prosperity practices, our prosperity experience is just like that it's a practice, and it's something that we have to do on a daily basis, really on a moment-by-moment basis, to be mindful of. And there are some very specific and proven practices that we can do to enhance our prosperity experience and to unlock the flow and to open ourselves to the infinite array of channels and ways in which the universe wants to bless us. So that's what I'm going to be sharing this week, is the beginning of some practices that we can, you know, if we're not already doing it on a regular daily basis, that we can begin to do. And this Sunday we're going to talk about tithing as a good place to start the new year with. Been taking yoga classes recently, and one of the things I love that our yoga teacher always says at the end of the class is she says, thank you for sharing your practice with me today. That wherever you are in your practice, if you're a beginner or you're advanced or you're just kind of trying to get started with this, that there's room for you in this class, that you belong on the mat with us. And so that's what I want to say to you today and this week. Thank you for sharing your prosperity practice with me. And I look forward to our continuing to grow in our practice together. Blessings.